Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It's time for No Spring Chicken with April Walterscheid. Hi, I'm April. The title of the podcast, this is episode 3, and the title of the podcast is Because I'm Vegan. And I'm also not new at anything. I'm just adjusting this. And if you're wondering why a podcast, well, I post it in my stories a lot for maybe recently 200 people to see. Sometimes 800. If I do a Cardi B impression, suddenly I get 800 to 1,000 views on my stories. But that's the most views I've ever gotten in my Instagram stories is 1,000 of those viewy peewees. But my manager was like, "Hey, you posting your stories and no one really sees it, so make a podcast about what's going on in your life, my opinions on things, whatever." Did I just trail off? Did I just go opinion on things? Did you see that? There is a lot to talk about. I'm currently dog sitting, so I'm using someone's house. I'm trying to get it lined up. It's really just not. I'm adjusting. It's not lined up. This uh, ring light's on a bed, and there's like shoes over here. And this is my parents' stage 2 hoarding situation. Like this is not my parents' house, but I recognize the organization attempts in this house where I'm dog sitting very similar to my parents. And I just want to warn them they are headed for being on the show. Hoarders. I don't know. Sometimes hoarders stay at stage 2 forever or stage 3 or. But yeah, I'm recognizing how they organize things, and it's I don't know them, so they can live their life how they want. There's a lot of Hawaiian stuff in this room. There's like a Russian doll here that I put. I don't know if I can point to it. I put this here for sure. Like it was here, but it was behind something. And I'm like, we need to make this apparent because I love those. And there's a lot of dolphins. I go to Hawaii a lot. I forgot what this girl's called. I meant to look this up before the podcast started. This blue haired lady, she's like not Coraline, but she's something else. Is she from that Emotions movie with the kids, with the animation? I don't know, but I just love this. So I found her on a bookshelf. I put her in here to hide the volcano candle. They like Hawaii, so there's going to be a lot of volcano candles and surfboards with flowers on them. And I'm looking at one right now. But yeah, let's get into it. What's going on in my life? Well, let's see. I'm still 40. That's going well. Um, I gotta say that starting off 40 with a bang. Last week, I don't know what week. It was 2 weeks ago, maybe. My roommates called the police on each other, so that was fun. I was sleeping at 1 a.m. and then I see like I'm in the living room with a curtain. So I have the sliding glass door, one of the sliding glass doors of our apartment because I'm in a living room out to the balcony and I see spotlights shining in on my room and I'm like, okay, and I have like ear things in those little ear sound blockers and I hear people yelling outside, and then there's like a bang, bang, bang on the door, and they banged so hard on our door that I thought the wall was gonna fall over because things in LA are kind of flimsy. The houses are kind of thin, I will admit. I don't know if things are made with the best materials here. I'm realizing, but yeah, and I don't know what's going on with my roommate. Someone called the police on someone, but that was really scary. You know what? It was actually Easter morning. It was like April 20th, Easter morning, the day of weed and Hitler. Of course, it would happen on that day. That's when I saw the spotlights, and I thought maybe I'm in Holly. I'm in LA. I thought maybe there's gonna be an Easter Bunny parade in this very Jewish neighborhood I live in, because why not? I thought they were just like doing a premiere for the Easter Bunny, and they're just testing out the lights because I just couldn't hear because of the my sound blocker. What is it called? The ear squishies, ear foam. I don't know. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I have a ring light. You're gonna see it in the TV. I tried different ways to do this, and I'm just gonna block it with my head so that you don't have to look at it. You just look at the ambient sky behind us. But yeah, that was really scary. That was stressful. I was stressed. And yeah, that was it's kind of my roommates are going at it. They are oh boy, they're leaving notes for each other, and I've left a couple notes because one of them keeps leaving the oven on. So I've had my roommate who's in Utah working was like, leave a note to tell them not to do that. And my roommates are blaming each other for stuff. It's confusing. It's stressful and confusing. Um, and now I'm not like a scientist, but I suspect they're both narcissists, so they're not getting through to each other. And why I think they're both they one of them or both of them might be narcissists is because or in that family of personality disorders or just the traits because you could have the traits but not the personality disorder. Like I probably have some narcissistic traits because I'm doing this podcast. And I do attempt to care about myself and not think about other people, but I have to really try not to think about other people. I have to really try to be self-absorbed. It's hard to keep it up. I can't just like keep doing it. I put on a good act. It doesn't mean I'm like if you see me on the outside, if I seem self-absorbed, I'm because I'm really trying to be. I can't really keep it up for like more than 5 minutes at a time. Um, but yeah, where was I going with that? I wish I could just rewind back and get my thoughts. By the way, I did drink a little. I might be a little peppier today. I did have a matcha with an espresso shot, and that is coffee for me is like truth. Espresso is like truth serum to me. So I'm very talkative today. But yeah, anyways, two people who might be narcissists. Oh, I did grow up with someone in my family who I think is a narcissist. According to my therapist, she was. I would kind of mention stuff that this person would do, and she's like, I haven't talked to him yet, and I don't know for sure, but it seems like he might be. So I just grew up with some sort of narcissistic traits, experiencing them through another person in my family. So I mean, for 34 years. So that's a long time. But so when I see other people doing the same things, it's very interesting. It's almost like they're put like anyone with a personality disorder, it's like they're put in a factory and they're stamped out the same because they do very similar things. It's almost like men and women. It's like, why are they the same as other men and women? But yeah, it's like there's these traits that just get stamped out and you recognize it in other people. I think I've only ran into maybe 5 narcissists in my whole life. It's not the entire population. One of them I episode 1 of this podcast I talk about a roommate who was I think maybe sociopathic. And I just got done watching You. I hope I don't spoil it for you guys, but season 5, the last 2 episodes really drove me up a wall because not to give it away, but some people from Joe's past come and confront him and they're trying to talk to him like they can reason with him. It's very strange. They're talking to him like he's a human who has the ability to reason. And I'm just like screaming at my TV. I'm like, he doesn't, he's going to take everything you say, flip it around, make himself the victim, blame you. Like, of course he did. But I think with Joe, I've read, again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not any sort of medical person, but I've read the murderers. I only know 3 murderers by accident from a cosplay group and some sketches that were written and filmed and like just by accident, basically. And I talk about it in my stand up comedy. But I was reading online. I'm pretty obsessed with this stuff, actually, like personality disorders. I probably should have gone into a therapy or psychology, which is what a narcissist would do. Narcissists also are very into psychology, so that's a very that's a very red flaggy thing for me to say. Like, I've been told I'm not a narcissist by my therapist, but I'm still suspicious that I might be a little bit. Um, but yeah, anyone who murders has like two or three personality disorders going on or mental illnesses. So it's like sociopathy mixed with schizophrenia, for example, or now I'm not saying that specific one is like murderer, but could be sociopath mixed with OCD or and NPD, and that somehow makes like sociopathy or just again two or three personality disorders. It causes like them to want to murder. Unless you're a psychopath, then they have to do things just to feel things. I really feel bad for psychopaths because imagine you're born and you can't feel emotions. I mean, you would think that'd be a good thing, but you look at other people who are happy and then you're like, huh, what is that? I don't even know if I know that feeling. I think sociopaths, in my opinion, are more likely to murder than not just sociopathy again by itself, but like mixed with something else. Psychopaths are not likely to murder. Like they kind of are. I don't know. Again, I have no basis in what I'm saying. I'm just reading articles on Google. But the sociopaths are full of anger and action. Anger and action, never a good combination. Anger and action without thinking, never a good combination. So that's why, in my opinion, sociopaths are more likely to murder. And as you know, if you listen to episodes 1 and 2, I do have notes on what I'm going to talk about. And hopefully I can stay on track. There is no track with this. This is just random stuff I'm talking about as a podcast. Um, oh, and something else about my roommates. Our stove went out recently. And like our stove doesn't turn on. No, it turns on, but like you can't get the gas fire, like the little fiery clicky thing to go on. So we're trying to figure that out. And that's a whole mess, I guess. We have a landlord that doesn't want to fix things or she takes her time, so that's rough. Um I don't know the lifespan of gas stoves, but I bet after 10 years they don't light anymore. And I don't know why. It might be something. I asked someone else about the gas stove. I asked my main roommate's brother about the gas stove, and I was like, he gave me some scenarios on like what causes it not to turn on. And it could be like electrical, it could be that the pilot light is clogged. So that's a whole thing. Um, Basically, I being at my apartment right now feels stressful. I'm glad I'm dog sitting. It's not a place I really want to be. Um, yeah, for so many reasons. And I know what you're probably thinking, like April, if you don't want to be there, look for a place. I did start looking for a place to live in September last year, but stopped after like I looked at like 3 places, but I stopped. I almost have the income to move out into my own place, but I'm short by like $700 a month or something because they want LA did something interesting. They took away the high deposit amount. I think they wanted like a high deposit amount and for you to have like 2 to 3 times, 2.5 to 3 times the income. They wanted all of that. And they got rid of that a couple years ago. They got rid of the high deposit amount. I am all for the high deposit amount. Like I can put down $3,000 or 2,000 for an apartment. But cuz I have a savings, but like the income, the fact that they got rid of the deposit and now they just look at income, that is really putting a damper on my search for a place. I do miss living by myself. I know there's advantages to living with other people. Um, trying to get like not have the light in my glasses. There's advantages to having roommates. I'm not really used to having roommates except for like living with my parents for 28 years. But I got to live by myself at 28 to like 33. When eventually I started putting rent on a credit card and I'm like, I gotta get out. This is not good debt to have. I think I still have the debt. I don't know. I think it expires this year. I've been ignoring them, hopefully. Um, but yeah, I just like miss living alone. But then there's that 30 Rock episode where Liz chokes on something and she's alone at home and she lives alone in a New York City apartment and no one's there to save her. So there is always that chance that you'll choke on something. Like one time when I lived alone, I almost choked on toothpaste. Thought I was a goner. And like someone would have found me only 7 days later, maybe months later. So that's the only thing about living alone. Something happens. I mean, are people going to look for you? I don't know. Whew, I am feeling that matcha and that espresso shot. Oh, I want to talk about something else that happened on my birthday. April 9th, 2025 was my birthday. I turned 40. Um, I was at Denny's at like 11:50 p.m. that night after my comedy show in Northern Phoenix at Desert Ridge Improv. I had an improv show. Sorry, a comedy show. Um, yeah, someone. I remember like looking at my Instagram for like a second while my high school friend was updating me on her life. My followers shot up by guess what, guys? 500 followers. I don't think they're real though. I don't think they're real. But you know what? Actually, it shot up by 2,500 followers because I didn't look at the other number. Like it went from 3,000 to 5,000 something. I didn't look at that number. I looked at like the other three. I would rather have genuine followers because I'm a purist. Just knowing that like fake people are following you, it's weird. I think I had an ex-boyfriend that would buy followers in the morning when he lived with me. He'd randomly say, "Oh, I lost 2,000 followers today all at once." And that was like a red flag that maybe they're bot. So I think he had like 12,000 followers. And it's just like, and he was obsessed with it. He was just obsessed with the follower count and holding on to that 12,000. And he said he would never buy any. I think he was lying. I think he didn't really have the engagement. There's like this math equation you can do to see if somebody's engagement matches their follower count. I did it one time on his account and I don't think it matched. That was a while ago, but I was like, I think it's weird to be obsessed with something like that. But I remember like on dating, I was on Facebook dating a few months ago and some guy he had a check mark, which you can buy now. So that doesn't mean anything anymore. Just means you get faster customer service on Instagram is what someone told me. But there's a guy that was following me from the Facebook dating app on Instagram and he had 300,000 followers. And of course he has a check mark. His account 300,000 followers. It's not a million, it's not 435 million, but it's just like what do you do? What do you do to get that many followers? But then I looked at each post and he only had like 5 likes and I'm like, "Oh, he bought him. This guy can't follow me. He's not even real. This guy's a buffoon." I don't want people who buy followers following me. I don't want that. But if Taylor Swift wants to follow me, I found out celebrities actually have maybe a few thousand followers that are bought, but I wonder if it's like other people buying it for them as a birthday gift. I think my account going up by like 2,000 followers or 2,500. I didn't really count. I just kind of guessed. I think it was a gift from my manager. I don't know. I never asked him. I don't want to bring it up because I don't want it to be fake. Like I don't want to find out that yes, he bought them and that it's fake. I still believe in Santa Claus. I just can't deal with that being fake. Oh, last week's episode was about the yay yay, my down there, guys, and how it smells kind of like It doesn't smell anymore, but after my period, it was smelling like a Walmart bathroom mixed with Bath and Body Works, but like in a repulsive way, you know? I just got a message today from someone a guy, I don't think he listened to the podcast. He just said he saw my post. It doesn't mean he listened. I feel like guys don't click on things to listen to them. They just see something and then they just want to like preach to you about it in Messenger. They don't even want to. I think this is kind of like a review of my podcast, episode 2. Um, I might read some of it, but yeah, I don't think guys really watch anything. Or if they watch something or listen to anything you're doing, it's just because they want to get in your pants. They don't really actually. And then when you don't show interest, they're like, eh. Like they're not committed to anything. Like any excuse not to do anything, they're going to take it. So he says, I'm going to leave him anonymous. I think he's super into Trump, so I'm going to leave him anonymous. Hey, saw your Instagram post. Was curious. So I looked through some old copies of American The Yay Yay, which I have subscribed to since 2012. It's a lie. Yeah, look it up. I don't think there's an American Vagina. Anyway, subscribed since 2012. In the November 2022 issue, they reviewed one April Walterscheid. I assume this is you. Are there others? There are others, guys. There's 2 other April Walterscheids in the world. I think they married into the family. One time someone tried to dox my address in my Facebook. It was like a comment I left on something and they wanted to dox me on like a CNN comment that I left. They tried to dox me and they showed me a picture of a house and they're like, "Do you live here?" And I go, "That's Texas. I live in LA. It's on my profile. What are you, stupid?" So that was fun. I tell my parents that doxing story a lot because my parents think that people are after them. And I go, if you're not a bad person, then why would they be after you? Hmm? Yeah, I don't understand why my parents think that they're like, I post stuff, I'd be in trouble. If I talk about my family and my stand up, I'm in trouble. They're not in trouble. Okay. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. In the November 2022 issue, they reviewed April Walterscheid. I assume this is you. And write that in quotations April's Vayeye was imbued with deep and rich aromas of cassis, wet slate, and lavender. So I'm a candle. Uh, the objectification of women is just multifaceted in that it shows up in different ways. So I'm apparently a candle to this person and not a person. With a touch of pine needle layered lavishly throughout her vagina juices, vajayjay juices. That would be a good product, actually. Vajayjay. I would put papaya in that if it was a juice drink. The yeye juices, which also include hints of each of Cabernet Sauvignon, which I don't drink, so that wouldn't happen. This guy thinks I am so potent down there that I'm grapes and they're expiring. Graciano, I don't know what the F that is, and Clairiette Blanche. I gotta look these up, but yeah, I don't drink, so I don't know what those are. I did take a wine tasting class, and we tasted none of that. That was in Mesa, Arizona, on Power Road, and McDowell at a nice winery, wine restaurant, not winery, not like they grow the grapes right in the parking lot. The palate of April's Vayeye is hefty but smooth, showing blackberry and blackcurrant flavors spiced up by vanilla and cardamom and star anise. I don't like star anise. I'd rather saffron because it's antidepressant. But yeah, this part is me being a Bath and Body Works scent. I can see why he went this direction because I talked about my down there turning into like a Walmart Supercenter / Bath and Body Works scent of some kind. 5 out of 5 stars. Hope that helps. It's very interesting the male perspective on the Vayeye scent because to me nothing smells like that. Not anything. Not a dog. Not me. Not even the New York City car freshener, the homesick New York City car freshener that's hanging from my rearview mirror right now. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just trying to say guys are into it. Like, no matter, guys will insert their whatchamacallit into a tree and into mud. They are impressed by anything. That's what he's saying. But that's a nice review. Um, I don't have this podcast on like Apple or anything because I don't want to pay for it, honestly. I'll be honest. I don't want to pay for a server to host this podcast besides YouTube and put it on Apple. I've done that, the SoundCloud route, or another like LibSync, Lib, SYN. I don't really want to put this podcast anywhere but YouTube because that's where the money's at. But yeah, so you can't really leave a review of this podcast, but I think if you go to my Facebook page, if you look for the fan site April Walterscheid, you can leave a review there if you want to of this podcast. It will mean nothing to me, but I would love to read it. That would be cool. Sorry, hold for airplane while I look at my notes on what else I want to talk about. Oh, I got something. I want to talk about this last time. It's going to be a big old metaphor since I'm already talking about him. Let's go back to the narcissist. And the fact that you can't really reason with Joe from You, and I was like just up a wall watching the last 2 episodes of the final season of You, and I'm like, why are you trying to talk to him? He's not gonna reason with you. It's like trying to reason with you. The Joe from You is like trying to reason with a politician with a personality disorder. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Do you know? It starts with a T, RUMP. Like they just love like when they don't like being criticized, but they secretly love it because it's attention on them. So like if you're not talking about, like if you went up to our current president and talked about the blue sky, he'd be like, how come you're not talking about me? Damn, they're not talking about me. I better do some weird shit so they talk about me. And then they talk about him because he did something weird and then they criticize him and he's like, why are you criticizing me? But secretly under, like in his mind, he's like, they're talking about me. Yes. That is the troubling thing with narcissists. Our current president has been diagnosed with malignant narcissism online on Google by many people, by many psychologists and therapists. But there's this one therapist I saw on Google who was like, you can't diagnose him with that. You don't know him, which is true. But there's so much video out there. How could you not? And there's so many interviews where how could you not diagnose him with that? My therapist says he has all 12 signs of malignant narcissism. And my dad only has maybe 6. I'm just kidding. He only has like a few signs of narcissism, but enough to be like, this person might have a personality disorder. I say so much. We should make a song out of it. But yeah, it's hard to like reason with someone who's like so into themselves. You just can't get through when they try to like flip the script. I got an interesting message from someone in my family. They probably don't want me to mention it because again, they think they're going to get in trouble, which they're not because I'd be the one in trouble. You know, I'm talking about something political right now. I'd be the one in trouble. Okay. But I wrote this up. I'm going to frame it like it's a metaphor and about someone completely different. Okay. I kind of gave it away already. Oh, well, let's do it. Okay. I call it the political metaphor. My friend in high school voted for the school bully. Almost everyone did. And the school bully won. The school bully changed everything. I flipped it to she. She took away the reduced lunch program. Everyone loved that. She took away the drama department. She took away musical instrument rentals so that the kids had to buy their own instruments. Everyone throughout the Everyone thought the wannabe actors and marching band were dumb anyway, so everyone loved it. Then she took away school sports. Our teams were pretty good too. We had several championships. Everyone got mad suddenly. My friend reached out to me via note in my locker and said, "Hey, I voted for her because I like her policies, but she's going to take away the French Bonbon Club, and I know you like that club. I'm just reaching out to say I'm concerned for you." My friend reached out to me pretending to care so I could make her feel accepted by her own stupid vote. I I voted for the other guy who wouldn't have done any of that. But who am I actually talking about, guys? I'm talking about Trump. And someone in my family voted for an earthquake named Trump. My family member reached out to me. This is actually like a month ago, but they reached out to me recently pretending to be concerned for me because of their own actions. It's nice to see that the person in my family is starting to regret their vote, but it's coming out in a weird way. I wrote that weeks ago, and I wanted to tell you guys. I just thought it was brilliant. Yeah, someone like in my family reached out to me to be like, "Hey, you get April, you get Medi-Cal from the state of California, and based on my vote for this person who's president right now, it's going to get taken away, and I'm just so concerned for you." That is a very narcissistic thing to say. That is something that Trump would say. Oh, very frustrating. I just had to say that. It's kind of like John Mulaney's horse in the hospital thing. I wasn't thinking that when I wrote it, but after I wrote it, I was like, oh, it's kind of like that. We voted for an earthquake. We voted for the upending of civilization. Of course, I think over the past century, every generation thinks it's like the end of the world based on their vote. I mean, I think my mom, when she was younger, she said that people were thinking it was the end of the world then too. So I don't know what's going to happen. Every few years, people think it's the end of the world, no matter how they, like, depending on what's going on. I am looking at my notes. Let's make this interesting. Well, um, do 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 do. Oh, this is just me ranting about my roommates, honestly, which I kind of talked about. I didn't go into my roommates as much as I thought I would, so I'm kind of proud of myself. I actually am gonna visit my therapist online at 4 p.m. today, so I'll talk I'll talk to her about that, about the roommate situation. And something really exciting is happening. So I'm dog sitting right now, which I mentioned. And so I'm on Rover. If you ever want to like hire me for any snake sitting, pet dog sitting, cat sitting, ferret sitting, lizard sitting. I don't think any of those pets are on, besides cats and dogs, I don't think any of those are on Rover, but you can always just say you have a dog and then post a picture of a lizard. And I've taken care of lizards before. We had a lizard that like was sick in my family, a bearded dragon. I had to take care of her. I gave her critical critter care. She died anyway, but just know that she was old already and on her way out. And my mom didn't want to like spend $2,000 trying to save her. She was already like 12 years old, and it was sad. She turned black when she died. And then when she died, she did like one last, and I was like, "Is she alive?" And then she died. And then my parents did something weird that might be normal actually. They tend to bury their pets in the backyard to save money. Like if a cat or dog dies, they just like at the vet they put them down. They just bury them in the backyard. So we found my favorite dog's skull in the backyard a couple of years ago. Like while he was digging a grave for a dog of ours that was like sick, and she was like 16 years old and kind of on her way out. My dad dug up the skull of one of my favorite dogs. So that's great. I got to see that when I visited my parents. But with the lizard, she died on my watch, and they're like, April, just put her in a Ziploc bag, put her in the freezer. We'll deal with her. And she stayed in that freezer, guys, for like 5 years. I don't know how long, but it was a while. It was like a few years. Anyways, on that note, I haven't had any clients like pass away on my watch, which is great. Yes, but I think to live on my own in my own apartment in my own duplex, whatever, like to have my old duplex back in some weird form in LA, my old duplex in Mesa, Arizona, but have that in LA again and like decorate it the way I want. Um, my dream pet sitting rate, like right now, it's probably like $95 or 85. I keep changing the rate because this year's been a doozy, guys. Things are we don't know what the tariffs, we don't know what's happening. So I think people are like strapping down on spending. I know I am. I've strapped down on spending. I've just like tightened my belt there. But I was normally at like 100 to 120 a day, and honestly not getting a lot of bookings, just like one or two people were booking me. But my dream rate on Rover for dogs is like to live on my own to be like 225 to 250 a day. Because I found out the kennels charge about 400, maybe just the ones in LA, but some of the kennels are about $400, and maybe that includes a yard for them to run in. I don't know, but that would be my dream rate. But anyways, I have this client who I love so much. She moved away, but she's flying me out to dog sit to where she lives now, and she lives like in a cove with an ocean, and it's like a cute little town. And she's gonna fly me. She's flying me up there. At first, she said like, "Hey, we need to decide on a rate that we can do." And I was like, "Oh gosh, I charged her too much. She was paying like 120 a day before, and oh man, she's gonna want like a discount or something because she's flying. She would pay for my flight back and forth and from LA, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna want like a lower rate. But that's just how I think. That's how I grew up. Like if someone does something for you, you gotta like take a discount somewhere else. Like that's how I grew up. Think with that mindset. But no, this person is paying me like 2.5 times my dream rate per day. Like, guys, could I just get paid like this for stand up comedy? The rate is so. The rate's not $1,000 a day, but like it's almost. You know what I mean? Like, I am so grateful for her, but I was just like, this is amazing. Like, she gave me the rate via text, and I'm just like, she's like, is this okay? I'm going to pay for your flight, and is this rate okay? And I'm just like, it's fine. It's great. I wanted to text her, it's better than I ever expected, actually, but I didn't. I was just like, it's good. Yeah. I was like, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty good. So that's good. It's only like 3 or 4 days of dog sitting, and I wonder if like the rate she's giving me is more like so in case I have something happen up there, I'm covered, or like if I need to Uber Eats something or take an Uber. She wants me to drive her car. I don't know if this time, but a year ago she said if she ever moves, she wants me to like maybe a few months ago before she moved, she's like, you can drive my Tesla. And I'm like, I don't know how to drive a Tesla. So I'm going to leave that in the garage. I don't want anything to happen to that. I don't want to be responsible for that. Not that. Actually, her driveway is kind of small. So that's the only reason I'd be scared to drive it is like, I'm afraid of turning out of her driveway and then I'm going to hit something because I did see her house and we did drive there, and yeah, I'm scared of this little turn out of her driveway. That's it. I'm like right there. Her Tesla would be annihilated right there. Ooh, I have a lot of energy, I think, because of the matcha and the espresso, just so you know. Oh, my notes are just amazing. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh, Speaking of clients, I have a cat client named Princess Vespa. She's cute, but I just almost had another one because I don't get a lot of cat clients, as I think cats can take care of themselves. But I just had a new cat client, but they canceled. Like something happened in their family and they had to cancel. So that was kind of a bummer. She was so cute. I like it's funny when you're pet sitting and the owners try to show you how to do stuff. They're like, you need to come over for a few months before the pet sitting. We need to show you like the routine. And for this cat, I came over. They paid me to come over and do like a drop in, but with them there showing me how they feed her. And they showed me how to pour water into a dish for a cat. They showed me how to clean a cat litter box. And I'm like, oh man, I've had cats since I was a kid and I've been cleaning out the kitty litter box since like 1995. But yeah, show me. Show me this. Like, I have no idea. Like, that's how I felt. I did learn some things going over there. Like, she only drinks out of the Brita filter. She only has, there's like things you learn when you go to a new pet's house. There are like little details that you learn that you're like, okay, I got to do it this way, or she won't eat it or whatever. But yeah, someone showing me how to scoop cat litter. I'm like, ugh, how do I do it? I don't know. This is like, what is this? This is like calculus to me. Like, I just thought, but I was like very patient. I'm like, oh, okay. But I did learn that they use a kitty litter that is flushable down the toilet. And it's like, I get allergies from the clay kitty litter. I have to like hold my breath when I'm cleaning out like regular kitty litter because it gets in my lungs and I get allergic. It took me like 10 years to find that out, by the way. But this kitty litter was like, I don't know, pebbles? Like little wood pebbles, but not wood. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was very nice. So that's something I learned from him showing me how to do something I've done a million times. Well, anyways, I have to end the podcast because we're at 42 minutes and I feel like because of the matcha and the espresso shot, I don't remember what I talked about on this podcast. So if this podcast seemed very fast paced and energetic and you enjoyed it, I will do it again. I will drink matcha and espresso and do this all over again and like completely just not remember what I talked about, even though it's on my screen. My heart's beating a little fast. So, but if you like, if you don't like the espresso or matcha, I don't know. I probably won't do it again. I guess it doesn't matter what you like, but it just matters like what I like and what I feel. But yeah, this podcast seemed very rushed on my end. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you liked. If you thought I didn't bring energy into this at all, then you don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like I probably brought a lot of energy into this podcast while trying to like keep it cool. I also do I have any comedy shows coming up? I don't, but I do have a commercial coming out, and I will talk about it next week. I just signed off on the payment for it, so I think it's coming out soon. It's a Mother's Day commercial for a LaCroix type drink, like one of their competitors. So we'll talk about that when it's out. Maybe I'll like show a clip of it in here. I can't wait. It's Mother's Day is like the 20 something, so I don't know. I was thinking they were going to run it for a month, but maybe they're just going to run it for a week or two. We shall see. But I really appreciate you listening. I if this is like your podcast that you listen to and that's like the first one you listen to, thank you. If you're here from episode 1, 2 and you're still on board with this and you're still listening, thank you. And as always, if you want to see when I'm performing somewhere, when I figure that out, when I get on some shows, again, just visit aprilwalterscheid.com, WALTERSCHEID. You can also sign up for my email list when I do have shows in your town. Also, let me know where you want me to perform, and I will try to, like, what city you're in and like where you want me to perform. Send me an email. Bookcomedianapril@gmail.com is my email. I didn't put my last name in there because I know that that's a doozy to spell, although we can all spell Galifianakis just fine. Well, until episode 4, thank you for listening. And make sure to subscribe to my YouTube. Bye.